What's up, savvy expats? Do you want to live in the Philippines without having to deal with the Philippine heat? Or perhaps you're the type that prefers cool weather and is looking for a summer getaway? Well, in this video, we're taking a look at the top 3 coldest places to live in the Philippines. Alright, without wasting time, let's get into it. So, kicking off this list, we're starting with the coldest city in the Philippines, which is known as the summer capital of the Philippines, Baguio. Over the course of the year, temperatures in Baguio range from 56 degrees Fahrenheit to 75 degrees Fahrenheit. For those of you outside of the US, that range is from 13 degrees Celsius to 23 degrees Celsius. So the average temperature in Baguio during the hottest month of the year, May, reaches 70 degrees Fahrenheit or 21 degrees Celsius. Meanwhile, the average temperature during the coldest month of the year, January, drops to 66 degrees Fahrenheit or 19 degrees Celsius. I don't know if it's cold for you, but considering that the Philippines has an average temperature of 90 degrees Fahrenheit, Baguio is pretty chilly. Unless you're from a cold place such as Chicago like my family, this is the kind of weather that you'll have to bundle up for. I'll say, for most Chicagoans, 60 degrees Fahrenheit is already shorts and t-shirt weather, and it's already time to take a dip in Lake Michigan. But after living in the Philippines for over 3 years now, we've been so spoiled with tropical weather to the point where I think I might struggle to even go back to the windy city. But if you, on the other hand, have been itching for a summer getaway, then Baguio is the place. It's cold, the altitude is highly elevated on mountain ridges, and it's one of the few places in the Philippines where you can enjoy a hot cup of coffee or cocoa without sweating your butt off. Seriously, come to the Philippines during summertime, walk outside during peak sun, and you'll totally feel like a vampire. At least that's the case with the Americans I've met. And get this, the coldest shivering-inducing temperature ever recorded in Baguio was 42 degrees Fahrenheit or 6 degrees Celsius. Sure, that may seem like child's play for you Canadians, but for Filipinos, that's Antarctica. But now that we know how chilly it can get in Baguio, we must discuss where it's located. So Baguio is a landlocked mountain town in northern Luzon. Being that it's situated in the province of Benguet, Baguio is approximately 250 kilometers or 155 miles north of Manila. This makes it about a 4-hour drive away from Manila. And with Baguio being so high up in the Cordillera Mountains, Baguio is approximately 5,000 feet or 1,500 meters above sea level. What does this mean? Well, thanks to the high elevation and nature, Baguio is significantly less polluted than Manila. And not to mention, it was also dubbed as the City of Pines. Now, I will say that the one caveat of living in Baguio is the increase in congestion. As you would expect from a place as unique as Baguio, the city gets tons of tourists every year. To be exact, 1.7 million tourists every single year. Well, at least when the pandemic struck, that dropped down to 270,000 tourists per year, so yay pandemic on that. Nevertheless, the gargantuan amount of tourists visiting every year has led to more pollution and congestion. I've read several posts from locals living in Baguio saying that the city is much more congested and crowded than before. That growing up in Baguio, the locals never had to deal with such a rapidly growing population until now. So that is one side of living in Baguio, the large tourist and population increase. Other than that, it's not like Baguio has become so unbearably congested unlike some areas of Manila. You still get that provincial feel where you get to experience the natural beauty of the Philippines. The pine trees, the mountains, the gardens, the caves, the rice terraces, the waterfalls, the strawberry farms. These are all attraction points the summer capital of the Philippines has to offer. As a matter of fact, if you're looking to go strawberry picking, check out strawberry farms in La Trinidad. And another place to pick some succulent berries is Mackey's Strawberry Garden. Yet arguably the most popular attraction in Baguio would be Burnham Park. Burnham Park is a lush green park at the heart of Baguio City. Now if you're looking for a place to stay, Camp John Hay is a very popular hotel in Baguio. From ziplining, to hiking, to golfing, to canopy rides, this former American military recreation center has it all. So that is a small bit of what Baguio has to offer in a nutshell. Let's move on to the next place. Now at cold place number 2, we have Tagaytay. Because Filipinos have a name for everything, Tagaytay was dubbed as the second summer capital of the Philippines. Clever, huh? Maybe the next place on our list will be dubbed as the third summer capital of the Philippines. But all jokes aside, I can see how Tagaytay got that name as it's one of the top summer getaways in the entire country, especially for the Manila locals. With Manila being only an hour and a half away from Tagaytay, this mountain town is the ideal place to escape the hustle and bustle and Manila heat. Now, it would take about an hour and a half without heavy traffic to get to Tagaytay. With heavy traffic, oh boy, think 2 hours and up. Now, aside from its close proximity to Manila, Tagaytay has a lot to offer. Of course, one of which is its relatively cooler climate. At an average temperature of 66 degrees Fahrenheit to an average high of 80 degrees Fahrenheit, Tagaytay gets pretty cold. Last time I was in Tagaytay, it was raining and it was 70 degrees, which felt like a huge difference compared to the usual 90 degrees that we get in Manila. Right now, I happen to be in Tagaytay once again. I'm at Twin Lakes Hotel, and the temperature feels like nothing to a cold-blooded Chicagoan. No, I'm kidding. It actually feels pretty cool to the usual 90 degrees that we get in the city day in and day out. Anyways, Tagaytay also offers the accessibility factor. As I mentioned earlier, Tagaytay is in close proximity to Manila, meaning that you're nearby the best hospitals, the airports, and Western establishments. And so, if you ever need to flee the country for saying which presidential candidate you voted for in public, Ninoy Aquino National Airport is only about an hour away. Yep, on a side note, believe it or not, we've seen friends, families, and relationships torn over this recent presidential election in the Philippines. But that's off topic. In addition to its accessibility, Tagaytay has a lot to offer with its Western establishments. Over recent years, what used to be a small town in Cavite has grown a lot due to the real estate developers. In a sense, it's becoming a place for the affluent of Manila to have their second home. And so Tagaytay Highlands is one of the communities that well-off Filipinos choose to settle in. And there's also a number of resorts, hotels, cafes, trendy coffee shops, and attractions to choose from as it's a popular tourist spot in the country. And speaking of Western establishments, if you're into Starbucks, you can overlook Taal Lake and Volcano while sipping a cup of coffee. And that leads me to the slight but what could be a catastrophic disadvantage to living in Tagaytay. The only thing that you'd have to worry about other than the city becoming more congested is Taal Volcano erupting. The last time Taal Volcano erupted was in January 2020 and it got pretty ugly for the local residents. The sulfur dioxide emissions, smog, and ashfall forced many of the locals to flee their towns. Not to mention, Taal Volcano is one of the most active volcanoes in the Philippines. But other than that, Tagaytay is generally a safe place with an abundance of activities to experience. Now for the third and last coldest place that we'll cover in the Philippines, that is Sagada. Just like Baguio, Sagada is located in northern Luzon, making it a mountain province of the Cordilleras. With this place being 5,300 feet above sea level, Sagada enjoys low temperatures all year round that sometimes even drop to 50 degrees Fahrenheit. That said, Sagada is one of the coldest places in the Philippines with average temperatures dropping to 66 degrees Fahrenheit or 19 degrees Celsius. This kind of weather may force you to wear extra layers and bundle up at night. But unlike the first two places we covered, Sagada is less urbanized and developed. You'll find that there's plenty of lush natural sceneries and mountains to take in around the province. But what Sagada is most known for is its hanging coffins. Although it looks very eerie, the hanging coffins of Sagada has become a popular tourist spot for pictures and videos. Historically, members of the Igorot tribe have long practiced the tradition of burying their dead in hanging coffins. Another infamous attraction in Sagada is spelunking through Sumaging Cave. There are over 60 eerie-looking caves underneath Sagada, but Sumaging Cave remains to be both the largest and deepest. This cave earned the name the Big Cave due to it being 500 feet deep. It's said to be the largest cave in all of the Philippines. So far, it seems like the main attractions that Sagada has to offer caters towards people that do ghost hunting. But just stay above ground and away from cliffside coffins, and the vibe is much more nature-based and laid back. So there you have it, savvy expats. That is the top 3 coldest places to live in the Philippines. The Philippines is known to be a place to enjoy the tropical weather, but I want to know, is there any of you that actually enjoy the cool weather? Let me know down below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe. And so thank you for watching, savvy expats, and I'll see you in the next video. God bless.